All right, not only did I find a world famous big band leader on my tree who's directly related to me, but because of that, now I have on my tree a big time comedian who not only guest hosted The Tonight Show, but was in a bunch of movies, a ton of TV shows. So stick around for the end of the video because you're not going to want to miss that. That is really cool because like I mentioned in the last video, no mafiosi in this particular video. Although with the host for tonight's show, there might have been some, well, but first, talking about the big band leader. Now, I found this quite by accident.
We have happy accidents.
I was not expecting this. I was looking for a Vido Musso because I was going through some marriage records. I didn't expect to find one so closely related to Mia Familia. My aunt loved the big band era. I'm sure she had to have known the name, and his name, Vido Musso. Had to know the name and that he was this big time saxophone player for all the big bands, but didn't know his backstory because she would have told me because I only know of Gene Krupa because of Mia Zia because she mentioned seeing him. So he played, she would have, if she knew that Vido Musso was Mia, I had known it already, so she would have loved this particular, knowing this information. This is Vido Musso here. I'll blow it up. I kind of knew from this professional headshot here on Find a Grave that this wasn't an ordinary Sicilian immigrant here. Okay, this guy had money. This guy was known. So not only was he a big band leader, which I will get into. He was also in a few movies, which I've mentioned before, so I'll have clips of that you can see. So I got an awful lot because he was very famous for the time. So this is one of the records that really, again, I don't know who he is. I haven't heard of him. But I see he's obviously, and I know he's obviously related. He's from Carini, which is where Mia Familia are from. And I'm going down now, which is, you always got to look at all the information on the record because there's going to be a lot of information on these records. This is a naturalization record. And if we go down here, this is what did it. Now, I had already seen that he was a musician, but okay, my great-grandfather's brother was a musician, but he wasn't known like this. But this did it right here. Stanley Kenton.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Stanley Kenton was a big band leader. I was like, oh, he wasn't just a musician. This guy moved in some circles. So yeah, we see here, this is where he's listed as a musician in Los Angeles. But coming down here and seeing Stan Kenton, wow, this was wild. I got to find more about this Vido Musso. So this is his, this is quite something here. I don't know where the changing his name from VITO to Dio. I don't know what that's about. It's not making his name sound any less ethnic, but I don't know the story there. They misspell Carini, but not a big deal. Now, this is the World War II draft record, so he was in the war. He's a musician. But get this.
Oh, mon Dieu.
My aunt, if she had seen this document to see that his employer, Harry James. Now, for those under 50 years old, Harry James may not mean anything to you, but people over 50, especially people over 65 or 70 years old, Harry James, let's put it this way, Harry James was basically the Van Halen of the 40s. Harry James was a really, really big name in big band swing music. So this is actually Harry James here. This guy, again, you got to think of, Van Halen. See, that kind of popularity is what I'm talking about. Harry James was one of the biggest names in the swing era. Huge name. A lot of great musicians. And he was married to Betty Grable. So that tells you this guy was quite something. And also, we go to Vito's Wikipedia page. He played, again, with all the big guys. This is Benny Goodman. He played in the Benny Goodman Band. Again, Benny Goodman was one of the biggest names also. And that's Vido playing tenor sax right there. Just a huge influential sax musician. And so I'll have this in the show links. Vido's Boogie. I mean, this guy was a huge star in swing music. So we got some other pictures of him here. It's him playing again, but a really important one. Really important picture. Right there. Right there. That is another famous Sicilian, which I'm supposed to do a video on. From the Palermo area also. All the talented guys seem to have been from the Palermo area. This is King Louie. And again, Vido is right next to him. King Louie. For those who weren't aware, King Louie Prima played King Louie in Disney's Jungle Book. I mean, this again, if my Zia had known that he was from Carini and was a third cugino, oh, she would have she would have loved that. She would have absolutely loved to have known that one of her cousins from Carini was in these big bands, was a big star. Again, she probably knew his name, but didn't know the backstory. A cousin who actually played with Louis, who was a contemporary with King Louis. I have it in the works. If you like to help support the channel so I can do more videos like this, you can do so in the description, and I got shirts available. I also do genealogy work, so I do have to get into some of the genealogy work for Vido. And again, they had, it was great because they had a picture of his brother Giuseppe, who also immigrated. These are his parents, Francesco Musso and Maria Lentini. And because he's on my tree, Vido and Randazzo, I am able to get his line back, and I have the documents. I'm able to get this back pretty far. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, you can see we're into the 1600s now. Niccolo Musso, I think, and a Zappa, another famous Sicilian, Frank Zappa. If you go into go and look on the channel, the first in my series of famous Sicilians was Frank Zappa. So for this fame, so I get back to 1637 in Carini. So I do have Vido's line way back. So he was also in a few movies, and I want to play part of this. And hopefully there's not going to be a copyright strike. Here he is in the credits. I watched this whole movie, and I will say, not very impressive. I mean, Mamie Van Doren is in it, and it's about a mob thing here, and Mickey Rooney, just not cast very well. It's not. I watched the whole movie so that I could get the scene here with Vido.
All right, one side, you punks.
There's a strike going on here, boy.
What strike? I don't know nothing about no strike. Get out of my way.
Come on, boys, get him.
Again, if my Zia had known that the guy in this movie, who's on the picket line there, if she had known that he was a third cousin from Carini, she would have loved this. So now, how does Vido Musso connect or get a world famous actor and comedian who was a guest host on The Tonight Show, who was in a bunch of movies and a ton of TV shows? This was a complete surprise.
Well, we're waiting.
It turns out that his daughter Maria Musso married a guy named Fred Sheldon Greenfield, or as he is more commonly known, Shecky Green. I was, whoa. And what's unfortunate is that Shecky Green just passed away about 6 months ago at 97. Shecky Green. How cool is that I've got Shecky Green on my tree? I mean, again, my aunt probably knew Shecky Green married Maria Musso, but had no idea that Maria Musso's family was from Carini, Sicilia, just like our familia. Shecky Green. Shecky Green's done, not only was he in Splash, which I loved as a kid.
The grenade going off in your helmet. Does it still bother you wearing a bandage?
He was in History of the World Part 1.
Oh, blow it out your ass.
Oh, Caesar!
He's been on pretty much all those TV shows in the 70s that had all the guests, you know, like The Love Boat, Love American Style.
But please, just this once, don't sing.
He was also in The Fall Guy. He was on the A-Team, and not something that I would have watched.
Hurt, Colt. There's a lot more pain coming.
Okay. Those two goons work for a guy called Mel Breslin.
Dancing as much as you used to because you had the problem with the back. How are you feeling, by the way?
Evidently, you didn't have confidence in my dancing because you hired Gene Kelly for this show.
So I was going through. That was such a surprise. So I'm going through Vito's Wikipedia, and I did add this. I added that it was from Canini, not Palermo, and I did put that his parents are Francesco Musso and Maria Lentini, but it was down here. This is what did. I came down here, and the Santa Monica Daily Press mentioned that Shecky Green married Musso's daughter, Marie Musso, in 1985, which is wild to see. I never expected that I would have a famous comedian like Shecky. The guy was on The Match Game. The Match Game. I mean, how cool is that? Which I watched as a kid, and I know my Zio watched that the whole time, not knowing that his wife, her family was from Carini, just like our family. So how cool is that? I was able to get Shecky Green and connect him on. I'm not related, but I am very closely related to his Moliere, Maria Musso, whose family, and of course, whose family is, of course, from Carini. So, hey, it's really nice to be able to discuss who's on my tree and famous connections and then not mafiosi. So this was a really big surprise. I not only did not expect to find a famous big band leader and a really great saxophone player, Vido Musso. I didn't expect to find that. That was totally, but that's what happens when we really get into family history. We're going to find things like that. And that led to Shecky Green being on my tree because he's married to a cugina, Fred Sheldon Greenfield Shecky Green, the great Shecky Green.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.